Greetings to all. Welcome back to Social Online Classes. Today we are going to learn lesson 10. Okay, lesson 10 Industrial Revolution. Okay, which is lesson 10th lesson Industrial Revolution. In the late half of the 18th century, major changes occurred in the method of production. Okay, major changes occurred in the method of production that changed the history of humankind also. That changed the history of humankind also. This transformation is described as industrial revolution. This transformation is described as industrial revolution. Goods began to produce not by hand but by machines. Okay, but by machines. Society transformed from agrarian to one dominated by factory and machine production. Factory and also machine production. The industrial revolution started in England first, that we know. Okay, the industrial revolution started in England first. Then it spread to other parts of the world also. Other parts of the world also. The term industrial revolution was popularized by the English economic historians. Okay, English economic historians. Next, attributes of the industrial revolution. Attributes means the பண்புகள். Okay, attributes of the industrial revolution. First one, use of new basic materials. Use of new basic materials, iron and steel. Okay. Second one, use of new energy sources. Use of new energy sources. Coal, electricity, petroleum. Coal, electricity, petroleum. Third one, invention of new machines. Invention of new machines. Example, spinning jenny. Understand? First one what is spinning jenny. And the second one is power law. Okay, power law. That increase the production. Okay, that increase the production. Next we will see emergence of factory system. Emergence of factory system. Development of transportation and communication. Next, increasing this application of science and technology. Okay, increasing the application of what? Science and technology. Next one, the use of new technology. Okay, use of new technology. Next getting beginnings. Okay, next getting what? Beginnings. The industrial revolution began in England, that we know first, because it had some external factors. It had some external factors. England had abundant resources and possessed colonies also. And India being the brightest jewel in the British crown. Okay, brightest jewel in the British crown, our country, India. Next, getting coal, iron and raw cotton from colonies. Okay, coal, iron and raw cotton from colonies. England had a required infrastructure for textiles. Required infrastructure for textiles. And immigrant artisans from Netherlands. Immigrant artisans from Netherlands also. England had a developed banking system. Okay, in England a developed banking system was also there. The Royal Society of England encouraged scientific discoveries and inventions. Political stability of England created full attention to industrial growth. Okay, political stability of England created full attention to industrial growth. Next, invention of steam power. Okay, invention of steam power. In 18th century, the British mine owners were faced with the problem of water seeping into mines. Okay, water seeping into mines. Water had to be removed to extract coal. Water had to be removed to extract coal. So they employed additional laborers to pump the water out. Employing human labor cost a lot of money. Okay, cost a lot of money. So the British engineer Thomas Newcomen invented a contrivance. Contrivance means neareti yandiram. Okay, to pump the water out of mines. Okay, to pump the water out of mines. But this mechanism consumed too much fuel. James Watt, a Scottish engineer, converted a stationary steam Okay, stationary steam engine to a rotary engine which consumed less fuel, Now development in textiles. Before the Industrial Revolution, the spinning and weaving of cloth were undertaken for domestic and local consumption only. For the purpose of domestic as well as local consumption only. Manually operated spinning wheel required 4 to 8 spinners. 4 to 8 spinners to supply yarn. In 1733, John Kay, understand? 1733, John Kay invented flying shuttle. It increased the speed of weaving cloth. In 1764, James Hargreaves invented spinning jenny. Richard Arkwright invented water frame. This spinning frame used water power in the place of manpower. The water power was too big to be run at home. So factory was created. In 1779, Samuel Crampton invented spinning mule. It is the combination of a spinning jenny and water frame. L.A. Whitney invented the cotton gin in 1793. Removing the seed from the cotton. And it was founded by L.A. Whitney. What's the name of that? Cotton gin. Textile manufacture. Textile manufacture is the heart of industrial revolution. Textile manufacture is the heart of industrial revolution. The newly invented machine produced more textile goods. Derbyshire, Lancashire, Cheshire, Staffordshire, Nottinghamshire and Yorkshire. All shires only. Derbyshire, Lancashire, Cheshire, Staffordshire, Nottinghamshire and Yorkshire became the major factories under cities. The most notable was Manchester. Manchester. It had more than 50 mills in the year 1802. Next we will see iron and steel. The rolling mill proved to be 50 times faster than hammering wrought iron. In 1856, Henry Bessemer discovered a faster and cheaper method of producing steel. Next one, mining. The development of factories increased demand for coal. So coal mines became deeper and making it more dangerous also. As mines used oil lamps in the mines, explosion was high, leading to the death of miners. Exploding was there, and this explosion was high, leading to the death of miners. So Humphrey Davy invented safety lamp. Humphrey Davy invented safety lamp in the year 1815. Next, transportation and communication. What is there? Transportation and communication. Industrial revolution was dependent on good transportation. After goods were produced, they had to be transported to the markets. Networks of canals, roads and railroads were built. Macadamized roads and George Stephenson's steam locomotive. Understand? Steam locomotive helped to improve road and railway transport system. The modern rail transport started with the British development of steam locomotives. The first railway line Okay, the first railway line in England was opened between Stockton and Darlington. Okay, Stockton and Darlington. Robert Fulton invented a steamboat. Robert Fulton invented a steamboat that is known as a Clermont. Clermont. So we know Clermont is a steamboat which was invented by Robert Fulton. Effects of Industrial Revolution in England. Okay, next, effects of Industrial Revolution in England. Industrial Revolution led to the expansion of trade. Okay, expansion of trade. Growth of cities and urbanization. Growth of cities and also urbanization. The use of chemicals and fossil fuels. Use of chemicals and fossil fuels increased air and water pollution. Okay, increased air and water pollution. Industrial Revolution helped. Okay, Industrial Revolution helped to get employment opportunities for the families. Employment opportunities for the families. Children were employed in the textile mills. Children were employed in the textile mills because they worked for lower wages. They worked for very lower wages only. Safety was very poor in factories and mines. Safety was very poor in factories and also mines. The housing was tiny and dirty and sickly for the laboring class. Okay, tiny, dirty and sickly for the laboring class. So diseases like typhoid, cholera and smallpox affected the workers. Okay, what are the diseases? Typhoid, cholera and smallpox affected the workers. Next we will see urbanization. What we are going to see? Urbanization. Because of the Industrial Revolution, England became the workshop of the world. Okay, because of the Industrial Revolution, England became the workshop of the world. Agriculture declined. Okay, agriculture declined. So people moved from villages to towns. Okay, moved from villages to towns. Population growth, migration and urbanization were the major social changes. Okay, population growth, migration and urbanization were the major social changes. The population of London, okay, the population of this London city was 5 million in the year 1840. In the year 1840, Manchester became the textile capital of the world. Manchester became the textile capital of the world because whole climate was ideal for textile production. Okay, whole climate was very suitable for the textile production. Port Liverpool was close to it. Port Liverpool was very close to it. And Lancashire coal fields were also nearby. Lancashire coal fields were also nearby. Next, socio-economic consequences. The consequences you know results. Okay. The peasants and the working class suffered a lot. The peasants as well as the working class suffered a lot. The middle class became wealthy. Middle class people became wealthy by investing capital in trade and industry. Investing capital in trade and industry. Laborers were not permitted to form trade unions. Okay, laborers were not allowed to form trade unions. Karl Marx advocated scientific socialism to protect the working class people. Okay, Karl Marx advocated scientific socialism. It is very helpful to protect the working class people. Next, labor movement. Okay, labor movement. The Reform Bill. Okay, the Reform Bill of 1832 granted voting right only. Understand? Granted voting right only to the propertied middle class. So, those who have property can get voting right. For that people only voting right was there. So the working class prepared charter of demand. Okay, the working class people prepared charter of demand and get the signatures from millions of fellow workers. Get signatures from millions of fellow workers. The charter was presented to the House of Commons. Presented to the House of Commons. That is known as a Chartism. Okay, the charter presented to the House of Commons is known as what? Chartism. The charters asked voting right, secret ballot, and equal representation. Okay, what they are asking, voting right they need, secret ballot system, that system they need, and equal representation they need. Next, industrial revolution in France. Okay, we are going to see industrial revolution in France. France did not have natural resources like England. Okay, natural resources like England. The French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars wrecked the country. That means because of French Revolution and Napoleonic Wars, France affected very much. And the French businessman, who stayed in Britain during the time of the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars used British technology. Okay, used British technology. There's a Francois de Vendel family. Francois de Vendel family brought British technology in Lorraine. Okay, brought British technology in Lorraine. Lorraine, that is in France. Okay, that is in France. This family introduced steam engine in coal mining. Okay, this Francisco de Vendel family brought the British technology in Lorraine, and also they introduced steam engine in coal mining. Okay, in coal mining. The town of Mulhouse was famous for dyes and brought many designers there. British technology of refining cast iron began to be used in Mulhouse. In 1832, the first French railroad, that is from Saint-Étienne to André-Gioca's line was opened. Okay, in 1832, the French railroad Saint-Étienne to André-Gioca's line was opened. Okay, that is the first French railway line. The two biggest automobile companies of today's France were started in 1891. Next, industrial revolution in Germany. Germany had the natural resources required for an industrial revolution. Large coal resources were in Saar, that is Saar coal field. Next, Ruhr coal field. Next one is Upper Silesia coal field, and Saxony coal field. So Saar, Ruhr, Upper Silesia and Saxony coal fields. Okay, iron deposits were there in Horse Mountain. Horse Mountain. Okay, Horse Mountain as well as where Upper Silesia. Germany's challenge was feudal socio-political structure. Only two major ports were there. That is Bremen. Understand? Bremen and also Hamburg. Bremen and also Hamburg. These are the two major ports of Germany. Railroads served Germany well. Okay, railroads served Germany very well in its industrial development. So, from that what we can understand, these railroads are very important for the industrial development of Germany. In 1835, the first railroad line was opened. Okay, in 1835, the first railroad line was opened between Nuremberg. Understand? Between Nuremberg to Fürth. In Prussia, Berlin became the center of the railroad network. In 1871, Prussia finally united Germany. By the end of 19th century, Germany emerged as the most industrialized country. Okay, by the end of 19th century, Germany emerged as the most industrialized country. In chemicals, Germany excelled in the production of potassium, salt, dyes, pharmaceuticals, and synthetics. Okay, and synthetics. And this Bayer and Hest were the famous chemical industries of Germany. Okay, famous chemical industries of Germany. So, potassium, salt, dyes, pharmaceutical products and synthetics are the products, chemical products of Germany. And two famous chemical industries were there. One is Bayer and another one is Kest. Okay. Next, Daimler. Understand it? Daimler and Benz. Daimler and Benz became the most popular brand of automobiles in Germany. Daimler and Benz. Daimler and Benz became the most popular brand of automobiles in Germany and in the world also. With this, I finish today's session. I'll meet you in the next session with the next heading. Prepare all the one word answers. Study nicely for the exam. Okay.